Hey guys, it's been the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to learn a little bit about coins, hopefully together. And if you wouldn't mind, please share, like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. I got this letter from Bill Fiva, who actually writes and helps create the book that you may know as the Cherry Picker's Guide. It's something that's commonly used. A wealth of information is Bill, and I was very grateful. He's talking about planchet marks, and at first it's kind of hard to follow the concept until you realize, oh, planchet marks, right? So what happens before a coin gets struck? So normally you and I were oftentimes when we talk about grading a coin, what we're talking about is the grade of the coin after it's been struck. Well, what did the planchet look like before it got struck? Now, this is something we see actually a lot more frequently in early Americana, because you'll see early large cents that are really just kind of on rough ground, and you know that it has to do with the piece of metal that the coin was struck on. Well, the minting processes got better over time, but also when the planchets were made, they are simply dumped into a big old bin. And so they already have marks going in before they're struck. And so once he sent me this off-center nickel, it helped me to kind of think about it again in a different way, because the planchet itself already had its own different issues before it got struck. Now, one of the things that happens is as a coin gets struck, it will oftentimes press out, the pressure of the coin getting struck will press out a lot of these planchet marks. And also on a coin like this that was struck into a hopper, after it was struck, you can have contact marks that are created after the coin has been minted. So this is a little bit of a half and half. It's not a straight planchet because it got dumped on, but one of the things that, the comments that he has is just how nice is a planchet before it gets struck, and can you have planchet marks remaining on a coin after it's struck? And the answer is yes. The difficulty is, of course, being able to tell kind of what it looks like. But I would say that generally speaking, you're going to see marks that are kind of, I would say, they don't look like they're cut into the metal. They look like they're a part of the metal. That's kind of how I would describe it. So, something that looks like it's cut into the metal is going to be like there's a big ding right here that looks like it's cut into the metal. And I'd say that's like when the coin got just pushed through and after it was struck. And also you'll see that like a change in color whenever a coin is like struck into the metal. Like imagine a fresh piece of cement and then someone writes on it, or anything else like that, or that piece of cake that your sister put her finger into and you left a mark. You can tell not only because of the indentation, but also you can tell because there is a color change or shift. So a lot of these guys here a lot of these tiny marks are going to be planchet marks. And so this really, I think, affects grading when you talk about coins, especially from the, let's call it like the 60s through the 90s. Somewhat on the modern coins also, but you don't see quite as many of the planchet coins on the more modern coins since they switched their style of minting to a different machine back in the day. What's fun about this is there's a transition on here I want you to take note of, which is, so look at the rim. So I'm pretty excited about this. So the edge of the coin. So e pluribus unum, you can actually see a little bit of a ledge here. And you can see just the outline of where the rim of the coin would be. And so it's kind of fun because you can kind of get the idea of what we're talking about here. So if you go home and get, just some random pocket change, you can start looking at coins and see something like along the rim maybe, and see if it looks like there is some type of impress or indentation that possibly was in the coin before it was even struck. So coins from this time period, before they started doing really nice mint sets, like some of the mint sets, the coins are just not attractive. So you can look at a coin from a mint set from the 80s and like, that's all you got? Whereas some of the modern mint sets, the coin looks nothing like a coin that's going to be circulated, because the coin that's going to be circulated from today is going to look kind of, as I say, it looks kind of mid. That's a modern expression. Looks kind of mid. And then a coin that's going to be from a mint set looks like pretty stellar. So anyways, I thought it was a fun conversation. Thanks to Bill for sending this along and the concept. I don't think often about what a planchet looks like beforehand, but it's something for us to consider in coin grading. It's going to be planchet marks that occur before the coin was actually struck. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.